going to have a look at perpendicular bisectors. So the word perpendicular just means that it's at 90 degrees from the previous line. And bisector just means that it's cutting it exactly in the middle. So if this is my line, I want to cut it exactly in the middle at 90 degrees. So that's what perpendicular bisector means. So I've got my two coordinates 2, 1 and 4, 2. So if I just very roughly sketch what this might look like. So the first coordinate is 2, 1 and the second coordinate is 4, 2. So I actually don't need this part of my axis. And at the moment, the line going between them might look something like this, and therefore we want to find the perpendicular bisector. So I'm going to need to find the midpoint and then the line going through it that is 90 degrees to the previous line. So that's what I'm trying to find. So the first thing that I need to do is to find the midpoint. So the equation of that blue line that I'm trying to find is going to be of the form y equals mx plus b. And I'm trying to find the m and the b for it. So we know that it goes through the midpoint, and to find the midpoint, it's a bit like finding the average between 2 points, so that we're finding the average of the x and the average of the y, or the formula is adding together the two x values divided by 2, adding together the two y coordinates, and dividing by 2, and that gives us the midpoint. So for this question, if I add the x coordinates together, I have 2 plus 4, and if I add the y coordinates together, I have 1 plus 2, and that gives me my midpoint, which would be 3, 1.5. So I know that this coordinate in the middle is 3, 1.5. I now need to find the gradient of the blue line that I'm looking for, but I can't find that until I find the gradient of the red line, the original line. So the gradient of the red line of A to B is the rise over run, or the change in y over the change in x. So the change in y, I'm going to take this coordinate as my first and this one is my second. So I've got 2 minus 1, that's my change in y, and then in the same order, change in x, 4 minus 2. So I'm literally just taking those from these x and y coordinates. And that gives me 1 over 2, or 1/2. So the original line, the red line, had a gradient of 1/2, and therefore the perpendicular to this, so the perpendicular, which is at 90 degrees, has the gradient -2. So there's a video on looking at the perpendicular gradients if you're not sure about that. So it's a negative reciprocal, it would be -2. So we can now go back, we know that this is the original form of the equation. So I would like y equals mx plus b, but we now know that the gradient is -2. So I can replace m with -2, and now we're just trying to find the b coordinate, and that's where it crosses the y-axis. But to help me find it, I know that it goes through the point 3 minus 1, 3, 1.5. So I'm going to put that into my equation. So when y is 1.5, x is equal to 3. And I know that that satisfies the equation because it goes through it. So I can now use that to help me find b. So 1.5 is equal to -2 times 3 plus b. And I can rearrange that to find what b is equal to. And if I rearrange it, I find that b is 7.5. Okay. So I've got 1.5 is equal to -6 plus b. So b is 7.5. And that then gives me the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So it's the -2 for the m value, the gradient, and then 7.5 for the b value. So in the end, I have my final equation.